Hey guys, what's up? Another video. And first, I wanted to start off with expressing a little bit of my gratitude for you guys following me along, watching my content, listening to what I'm saying. It's the flow of consciousness after all, so this was part of my flow of consciousness today, where I wanted to express my gratitude and share my appreciation for all of you watching me share my thoughts. So today I want to talk about offering, asking for, and receiving help. And what inspired me to talk about this topic in this video is that I recently posted, I made a post in a Facebook group about emotional healing. And I wrote a post where I asked the question, when was the last time somebody asked you, how can I help? And then I wanted to offer my help to the people in the group. Um, excuse me. I wanted to offer my help as much as I was able or capable of helping, of course, right? I'm behind my computer. I can't move mountains. But just offering some help to someone in need, I felt like doing that, right? And so what this post taught me was actually a lot of different things, and it really made me think. So first off, there were a lot of people being very skeptical and wary about my post. They were like, "Hey, what's the catch in this? Nobody offers help for free, or when they're not expecting anything in return. What is your motivation behind this?" Right? Then there was a group of people who shared some of their loneliness, or they shared that nobody asked them for a long time, and they just felt very alone with themselves, basically. Then there were a few people who were asking for monetary help, just blatantly, I need money. And then there were a few, because of surprisingly many people reacted to this post, and there was a lot of engagement going on, right? So I started replying to some comments, and then I was busy during the day, and I wasn't able to reply to the rest of the comments, and there were a few people saying that, oh, the original poster hasn't even replied to any of the comments. What a lunatic, or something like that, right? um, as if they were, I don't know, they were expressing some frustration, I guess, with this topic. And so, excuse me. So the things that made me think were, first of all, I understand that people are skeptical because most of us got hurt growing up, by people we deemed to be our friends, and when they betrayed us, we felt hurt, right? And when we felt vulnerable and needy and we asked for help, maybe they didn't respond in kind, or they didn't help us when we needed them the most, right? And then we get constantly bombarded by marketing techniques and salespeople calling us, hey, how can I help you? Or when you're walking down the street in the shops and people like, immediately, how can I help you? But they just want to sell you something, right? So I understand this skeptical attitude towards somebody just offering help out of nowhere, right? And so some of them, they ask like, hey, what's the catch behind this? And I wanted to share why I wanted to do this. It's simply because it makes me feel good to be able to feel like I make a difference in a person's life, and offering help, of course, makes me feel good about myself. So the catch for me is that when I'm helping you, I'm helping myself. So it's a win-win situation. Why would you not want that, right? Why would you not want somebody helping themselves by helping others? What can be bad in that? If considering that the intention is pure, right? Like, of course, if I would do it in order to manipulate or to gain something from someone, then I understand that it's a reason to be skeptical. And rightly so, right? Everybody has been scammed or been taken advantage of. So usually the first step to luring somebody in, like offering help, but actually like expecting something in return, right? But it really it struck me how many people were wary of me offering help just because I felt like I wanted to help. And of course, there is a catch for me too. Of course, I get something out of it. It makes me feel good when I can positively impact someone else. And if you share your kindness and compassion with other human beings, it's almost as if you're telling it to yourself, right? So it's a win-win situation. I can help make somebody feel better, and I can help myself feel better, right? So this first category of skeptical, wary people, I sympathize with them. I reply that I understand that you're skeptical about this. Probably you've had a lot of hurtful situations in your life where you felt like you needed help, but nobody was there to help you. And maybe there is resentment there, or disappointment, or sadness, even anger, whatever, right? And so these people, they were very wary of me offering help. And I tried to empathize with their perspective, and I said that okay, I totally understand that you're skeptical, and I am really here just because I know that if I help you, I help myself, and if I help myself, I help you. So this is a nice like symbiotic relationship here almost, right? And of course I have limited capacities to help, which was also something that I realized. Like there was a shitload of people replying to this post. Like of course I am a human, I have limited time, I have limited energy. Of course I have unlimited energy in a sense because it's constantly being renewed, but in a timely manner it's limited. You can't, you only have so much time to reply, you only have so much energy to come up with compassion answers that make sense to the people, right? So, excuse me, it's very annoying today. Anyways, um, so you only have a limited amount of mental resources to reply to these comments, and so the second category of people who seem to be so intolerant of me needing time to reply, as if I offered the help, then all of a sudden immediately I had to fulfill some kind of expectation. And this is something that I also was thinking about. Like, yes, you offer your help, so there comes an inherent responsibility with that somehow. I believe that it's the case. If you offer help to someone, then you should follow up on that. You should follow through, right? You cannot be like, hey, let me help you. Oh, no. Well, actually, you can. There is nothing necessarily wrong with that, but I think that it's not a nice thing to do. So I really tried not to do that. So I posted the post and then I started commenting, but there were so many comments that were like, okay, I need a little break from this because there is a lot of, like, it, it was this massive stream of like, I don't know, people latching onto it somehow or being triggered by it, or there was a lot of energy moving in this post. So it was very interesting for me to 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 understand what to try to understand what was going on and these different categories of people responding. And so I wanted to talk more about this concept of help, asking for help, receiving help, offering help, because I believe that it can be such a beautiful tool in this world to offer yourself, to help others, and to receive help, to allow help. So many of us, we are so afraid of asking for help because it puts us in a vulnerable position, in a sense that we need help, so we are needy and vulnerable, or we can easily be taken advantage of, right? Because we need something, we need help with something, and if somebody rejects that, it's very painful. It can be very painful when you ask for help and somebody doesn't offer it to you, or can't offer it, or is rude about it, or so it's a very sensitive topic for many people. And asking for help, I believe, is a very important almost skill to learn. Like, I used to never ask for help because I was like, I need to be strong. I don't want to be vulnerable. People can only let me down if I ask them for help and they don't want to do it, whatever, whatever, right? But there is an inherent risk, of course, involved with asking for help. But there is also a huge, immense payoff, because there's two reasons. First of all, you are being helped, or you have the possibility of being helped, which makes your suffering less uh, enduring, you can reduce the amount of suffering for yourself if you can share it with somebody, or you need to carry something heavy, then you reduce the stress on your back, whatever it is, right? And secondly, you allow other people to help you, which is a gift. If you think about it, it's a gift. Helping another human being, it makes you feel good about yourself too, because you know that you have a sense of purpose. You can reduce their stress load, you can reduce their suffering. So it feels good to be able to help someone if you truly care about helping them. So it's a gift. If you ask for help, it's almost like offering a gift to somebody to give their gift to you. So it's like a mutual exchange of giving energy, in a sense. Even though you're asking, if you do it with the right intentions and you don't make it a demand, you make it a request, an invitation. You ask for something, and then the other person can respond in kind. That is giving each other like a gift, and it builds trust, and it strengthens the relationship, right? And so I want to make this distinction between demanding and requesting or inviting someone to help you. This is a very important key topic, or key piece of knowledge, or I don't know the right word, key component of nonviolent communication. I highly recommend you check out this book. I will probably record a video about this, because it's a fantastic way of communicating, and going back and forth and figuring out each other's needs and being respectful about it. And so what he talks about in his books is that you can share a need for help, for example, and you can either communicate it as a demand, where if you ask for their help and they don't reciprocate, or they don't meet that need, then you act in a punishing way. You get angry, or you stonewall them, or you start shouting, whatever it is, right? And then you punish them. So that shows that it wasn't a request or an invitation, it was a demand, because you demand something from them, they don't do it. There is a negative consequence. You punish them somehow, right? When it's a request, then you can, or an invitation, you can put it out there, you can ask for help, and if the other person is not able to respond, or is not able to help where you ask for help, then you can let it go, and you can either ask someone else, or you can fix it yourself. But you don't hold resentments, you don't punish the person, and then it was a request, because the other person basically is free to choose, and the consequences won't be negative, right? Because if they choose no, if they choose to reject it, or if they choose to not engage, then if the consequences are negative from based on your behavior, then it was a demand and not a request. And people hate acting on the basis of demands. It creates tremendous resentment, and it might give you a payoff in the short term. People will sometimes do what you demand from them, but in the end, it will nullify itself, because they will carry resentments. And when the time comes that you really need them, they won't respond in kind, because they feel resentful for all the times you made them do something, because otherwise you would punish them, right? So try to really be careful about verbalizing your requests for help, and really pay attention to your own intention behind it, and work on yourself, right? Be okay with a person saying no when you ask for help. Like, I remember one time when I was like really sad and suffering, and I really needed to talk to someone, and I sent them a message like, hey, can I please call? And she was like, no, I don't have time, or something. And I felt so hurt about it. I was like, wow, I'm so like even angry somehow, because she wasn't there for me when I needed her. But now when I think back, of course, she was probably struggling with something. She didn't have the time and the space. And if I would have called her, she would have not been able to empathize with what I was. So it was better that she was honest about it. And then I could at least call someone else, or solve it my own, right? Like, deal with my own stuff. So that really taught me that, okay, it's you should really make the distinction between a demand and a request, and really try to focus on asking as an invitation, ask for help as an invitation, and dare to ask, right? Because if you don't, then people don't know what you need, and then you can't expect them to read your mind. This is another crucial thing to understand, that it's also something that I often made mistakes in, where I was like, well, they love me or they know me, so they should know my needs. They should know when I need help. No, they should not know. You have the responsibility to tell them in a kind, respectful manner, and then they need to feel the choice to fulfill those needs, to respond in kind. Because if they feel like you are almost forcing them or emotionally blackmailing to meet your needs, then they will not do it, or they will resist it, or they will do it with resentment, and that's not what you want, right? So it's important to be able to ask for something, dare to ask. It requires courage, because there is an inherent risk attached to asking for help, because yes, the other person might reject your request. Yes, it might happen. And it's okay. They're humans too. They're struggling with their own stuff. And if you try to look at things from their perspective, and sometimes it's very, very difficult when you are really in need of help, and you ask for someone to help you and they can't do it, or they don't want to do it, then it can be very painful in the moment. But usually it can be helpful to then reflect on it later on and try to really imagine yourself in their shoes, and try to think that, okay, maybe they were in a very difficult situation and they were just not able to be there for me fully, and maybe they wanted to be, but they didn't feel able to, and so they knew that it would be more painful to half-ass it than to just say that, okay, right now I can't really do it, or I don't want to do it, because everybody is free to do what they want to do, right? So try to not demand from them that they help you, but be okay with them not responding to your requests, right? But in the first place, it's important to dare to ask, because you need to be courageous about it. You need to show bravery, because it's scary sometimes to ask for help, right? So this something that I noticed in this post. There were a lot of people that say like, nobody ever asked me, or like, it took me a few last time somebody asked me was a few years ago, or something like that. And then it got me thinking that, okay, do these people allow themselves to ask for help? Do people feel that they are open to being helped? Because this is also an important thing. Like, you can have people who are so focused on being independent and not reliant on anybody, so they close themselves off, and then of course people never offer them help, because they feel like, ooh, I will leave this person alone, because they are so focused on doing their own thing and not needing any help at all, and I maybe might even upset them if I ask, or if I offer them help, right? Which was also something that happened in the post, by the way. So it's important to understand that, okay, when you feel like nobody's ever offering you help, it's not always about them. Sometimes it's also about you, because maybe you give off the vibe that I don't need help, I don't want help, I don't dare to ask, I am independent, nobody, I can't rely on anybody, because they all leave me they all leave me behind, they abandon me, they don't support me. If these are your beliefs, question those. Is it really true? I don't think so. There is actually a lot of people, surprisingly many people, who are willing to help within their sphere of influence, within their capacities, capabilities, within their range, where they are able to operate with clarity and with good intentions. Most people are like that, right? So asking for help is something that you really need to become aware of within yourself. Do you do it? Uh, if not, why not? Are you afraid of certain things? Ask yourself these questions. Why am I afraid? Do I feel like people let me down all the time? Maybe this belief actually causes them to let you down, because they feel subconsciously forced and influenced by your beliefs. So they feel that you would react in a negative way, so that automatically they reject it beforehand, before it actually happens, right? So really, really think about these things. And I could feel in the post there were so many different levels of people asking for help, or knowing what it is to help and stuff like that. So it really got me thinking. So yes, first of all, allowing yourself to need help. Second of all, being aware that it's okay to ask for help, and it's also okay to be rejected that help. It's fine. You will be able to deal with it yourself, or you can contact someone else who is probably who has more space or energy, and who can help you in that moment. And it's important to to find the balance, right? You don't want to be completely dependent on other people, even though we actually are, because we're living in a society and you can't live all alone by yourself. It's practically impossible. So we are always dependent on others, because ultimately you are me and I am you. So of course, but you want to allow yourself to also create enough space that you are not adopting this learned helplessness in a way where you immediately ask other people to help you, because you have your own internal resources available at all times as well, right? So you can deal with difficult situations by on your own, and usually when you ask for help and the person doesn't respond, then you can actually learn that you are able to deal with the situation on your own. So sometimes it's actually even a good thing if somebody rejects helping you, because it can teach you your own resourcefulness and your own uh, you can build your own confidence, and you can learn to solve problems by yourself. And that doesn't mean that it has always to be like this. It's the balance. Keep the balance. Don't tip over into, of course, for myself personally, I have to go both extremes to know where to balance myself in the middle after a while, right? I go all the way, I don't need anybody, I am all alone, and then I go all the way, I need somebody constantly to help me out, and then I can position myself in the middle, right? There is nothing wrong with that. This is how I work personally, and maybe you do too. So it's important that you can experiment with that, and that you can learn what either two extremes bring, and then how it can be the most fulfilling in the middle, somewhere in the middle. Sometimes it's a little bit more on this side, sometimes a little bit more on that side. That's absolutely fine. So the last thing then is offering help. This is also important, because you have to ask yourself, why do I do it? Why do I want to offer help? And I believe I used to think it's wrong to offer help for selfish reasons, in the sense that I offer help to make myself feel good. But if you think one step further, then what is wrong with offering help in order to make yourself feel good, in the sense that, okay, I'm actually contributing to the world here. I am actively reducing suffering, and one of my beliefs is that the beauty of life is to be celebrated, and suffering creates a barrier between the suffering of life, between the celebrating of life, the celebration of life. So if I can reduce the suffering, then people are more able to celebrate life and experience joy and peace and love, right? And this is what I want. This is what I believe is important to achieve in this world, to allow people to feel love and compassion and kindness, and to celebrate life, right? So if I can help in that journey, if I can help along that path, then I feel good about that. I feel happy about that. And it's not that I need to do that necessarily, or I am an indecent human being, unworthy human being if I don't do it. It's just that I feel like this is something that I can really do, that I can offer to the world, that makes me feel good about myself, and that can hopefully help other people feel good too, which is a beautiful thing, no? To offer help to other people, which makes yourself feel good, and makes the other person feel good too. That's beautiful. I think that's a win-win situation. Isn't that what we all want in the end, right? So it's important when you offer help that you do it with the right intentions. Question yourself, because before I started recording these videos, I had the thoughts of, okay, I would like to do some kind of counseling, coaching, guiding uh, profession, where I can guide and assist people in their road to self development. To improve their emotional lives, to improve their well being, their emotional well being. I want to help people grow and expand on their capacity for love, kindness, and understanding, right? So, but I was questioning myself a lot, because I was thinking, what are the reasons I want to do this? Is this for selfish reasons? Is it because I want to feel significant? Is this, is it maybe darker motivations that drive me to do this? I don't know. Let me really like dive into it. And at first I was afraid that, yes, it's actually just for selfish reasons, and I want to, get a sense of achievement and purpose through that. But now I understand, no, it's not about that. It's really about, because I believe that goodness is the reason why we're here. Love is the reason why we're here. Kindness, compassion, peace is the reason why we're here. So if I can assist others to get closer to that, get closer to love, get closer to God, if you want to, get a little bit more spiritual about it, if I can do that, that's a beautiful thing. And I have to be clear about the fact that this is really what I believe, and it's not just merely for selfish reasons. Of course, it makes me feel good about myself if I can have a significant impact on somebody's lives. Isn't that beautiful when you can feel good about that, and when the other person can feel too, right? I want to believe it is something good, so that drives me to offer my help. And you have to be careful with how you offer your help precisely, because so many people, they are hurt, they have been hurt in the past, they're wary, they're skeptical. So when you offer help, they can shut off immediately, right? Because maybe you were a little bit too upfront about it, or maybe a little bit too direct about it, so sometimes you got to be a little bit careful with offering help, because some people might even get hurt in their ego. It's like, I don't need help with that. What are you talking about? Why do you even offer your help? Like, are you crazy or something? So you can then let them know, like, no, I genuinely really just want to help, because I like the shared carrying of a heavy load, like not necessarily a physical heavy load, but maybe a mental heavy load, or whatever it is, right? Offering support when somebody's father passed away and they're feeling sad. Reach out to them, ask them, hey, how can I help? How can I support you? It's amazing when you feel that people actually care about you. And when you are offering your help, be considerate about it, respectful, do it with the right intentions, and then you won't be offended if people react in strong emotional ways. Like the amount of emotional comments that I received on this post were very much unexpected. Maybe actually they were expected if I would have thought about it more in advance, but they were very emotional. A lot of people got triggered, a lot of people had even like some gnarly comments and stuff like that. So if you do it with the right intention, then you will not be phased by these reactions. You will not be phased if you have an honest, genuine willingness or drive to help somebody, and they don't want it or they don't accept. You can let it go. You can be like, okay, it was with good intentions. If you don't want it, I accept it. You don't have to be emotionally triggered by that. And I think that really thinking about your intentions and making sure that they are pure before you offer help can really protect yourself from getting hurt if your help gets kind of like rejected, because it makes you understand the other person's perspective better, because maybe they want to just protect themselves. And then you can even work on that with the person, right? You can talk about, okay, I am trying to offer my help. I can see that maybe you are afraid that I will take advantage of you or that I will expect something back. I want to really stress that this is because I really genuinely want to help you and I get enjoyment out of that. This is my catch, that it makes me feel good about myself and I can help you and it makes you feel good. So if you feel good, I feel good, and the other way around, that's great. It's a win-win situation. So perfect. Let's help each other, or allow me to help you, because it's a gift. You allow the other person to help you. It's a gift if you can really open yourself up to the possibility of somebody offering you help and really building something together, right? So I think that realizing these nuances about offering and receiving help can allow you to understand better your own motivations for helping others, for receiving help. It can also make you think about why maybe nobody ever offers you help, because maybe you close yourself off to the possibilities for that, right? Because you don't want to feel dependent or vulnerable. We all have these fears, I think. So it's important to know these fears and to, I believe, to work on these fears, to loosen these fears a little bit, and to be brave and to really ask for help, because these moments can be one of the most meaningful and beautiful moments in your life, when you are really struggling and somebody offers you help, or you ask for help and they help you out, right? It can be such a meaningful experience when you can feel, wow, they really responded in kind to my request for help, and I felt so cared for and so supported, and it was so important to me that they actually listened. And this can be such a strong relationship builder. It can create these meaningful connections between people, and it's I think the basis of a mutual trust as well, right? Like one of the interesting things that I learned, I don't know which book it was, but when you move to a new area, one of the first one of the best ways to make friends quickly with your neighbors is to ask them for a small favor, like, hey, can you help me with this, or can I borrow your scissors, or whatever it is. Because then when they allow you, when you allow them to help you with something, then it creates this sense of reciprocity, and then you can do something back for them too. You can then offer them, oh, next day you see they're struggling with, I don't know, their groceries, and go, hey, let me help you. So that way you can build this reciprocal relationships where you help each other, and this can create a lot of rapport fast and quickly. And if you do it with the right intentions, of course, you don't have to do it as this manipulative tactic. Hey, I will offer my help, and so then they will. No, don't view it as that. View it as you helping another human being, and it makes them feel good. It makes you feel good, and it's a beautiful thing. And then there is room for them to offer you help, and this is like a synergetic, beautiful, symbiotic relationship, and it can become something very beautiful very fast, because you know that, okay, I can trust this person to help me, and they can trust me to help them, and I do it with the right intentions, they do it with the right intentions. And of course sometimes there will be expectations involved, and that's fine, as long as you communicate those expectations, and as long as you can forgive yourself whenever you fall off track. That's totally okay. Like, we're all humans, so these things happen, right? You're not perfect, I'm not perfect, and we are not meant to be perfect also. I mean, we are perfect in our imperfections. That's what it really is. But it's important to understand that, okay, sometimes you will have expectations, and sometimes you will not even be aware that you have them. So really be aware, pay attention to how you react when you ask for help and they don't respond. How do you react? How do you feel? Maybe it was actually a demand and not a request. Work on those expectations, verbalize those expectations, talk to them about, like, hey, I'm sorry, but I feel a little bit, I don't know, stuck about this, or powerless about this, because I had some kind of expectation and I didn't share it with you. So of course I know it's my responsibility, but then again I want you to know, blah blah blah. And so you can really talk about these things and share it, especially like with a romantic partner. I think it's really important to talk about expectations, because they can cause so much hurt and suffering when they are not being verbalized, because people, they really can't read your mind. And sometimes it happens that in a very connected, intimate moment, it seems like you can read each other's minds, but in day-to-day situations, usually it's not like that. So it's definitely your responsibility to verbalize your expectations, your needs, and when you need help, and allow yourself to receive help, because it's a gift. You can offer the gift to someone to help you, and then you can reciprocate and you can offer your help to them. And this is, I think, a beautiful thing. And if you do it with the right intentions, and if you open your heart to receiving their energy, their help, their support, then that's a very, very beautiful thing to do. And the other person will feel good about themselves, and you feel good about them helping you, and you opening up to their support. And I think that's just beautiful. So this post really made me think a lot about these different interpretations on how to receive help, how to offer help, and they really made me think. So I felt like I wanted to share this with you guys, and I hope it was helpful somehow, to hear my thoughts, to hear my flow of consciousness about this topic. So again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you being here, spending your time listening to my thoughts, and I hope they're helpful to you. And if you feel like you want to ask me some questions, feel free to drop a comment below, hit the like button, share it with somebody you love or care about, or maybe you think that might be interested in these topics. It always helps to give something to someone else that might be interested. It's a nice gesture, you know. Oh, hey, this is very interesting. I thought you might like it, and then the person can enjoy it. So again, thank you for being here. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for working on yourself. You're making the world a brighter place, and we're all in the same boat. We're all on the same journey. Everybody has different journeys, but in the end, it's actually all the same journey. And I wish you all the best. And again, so grateful for everybody and for the chance and the ability to do this, because you know, I have a computer, I have a camera, I can talk, I have a mind that's working, I'm healthy, I can do this, I can share these things with you. It's something to be very, very grateful for, and to not take for granted in any way. So thank you for watching, and I see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.